All right, let's get started. Welcome to the Stressed Accountant YouTube channel. Let's dive into the question, if I'm so smart, why do I compare myself to others? So if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Dawn Goldberg. I've been a CPA for over 30 years in public accounting. I've worked for firms like Deloitte & Touche and Ernst & Young. I am a professional certified coach for accountants, and I am also the author of my book, The Smarter Accountant. I also created the Smarter Accountant program and the Smarter Accountant time management program. So in my book, The Smarter Accountant, I share the story of Kendra. So I want to share it now. And then I'm going to answer the question, if I'm so smart, why do I compare myself to others? So Kendra, like a lot of accountants, had decided to study accounting a little bit later than most other accountants. And after high school, she actually decided to join the military. And when she finished serving her time, she chose to go back to school for an accounting degree. Now, not only was she older than most of the other students in her class, she was also balancing school. She was balancing a part-time job, being a wife, and then being a mom to her young daughter. Now, although she had a lot on her plate, as you can understand, she completed her undergraduate accounting degree. She was finishing up her master's, was planning on taking the CPA exam, and she was at the point where she was going to be interviewing for an accounting position. Now, the issue that Kendra was dealing with was a lack of confidence. And the other issue was caring too much about what others thought of her. Now, this concern of wondering and caring about what others thought of her really was holding her back from putting herself out there. So whether it was simply believing that what she had to share in a conversation was valuable, or having the confidence to apply for positions that she was qualified for, Kendra had a hard time. And she had a hard time not comparing herself to others, and then comparing and despairing, feeling that sense of despair after she was comparing herself. Her dream was actually to have the confidence to not care what other people think, to not compare herself to others, and to be able to own her unique gifts and talents. She was intelligent and she loved learning. Kendra was very articulate, and she wanted to eventually help a company grow as their controller. But it was as if there was like this big giant wall of self-doubt that kept being put in her path, that stopped her from doing what she wanted to do. And she was so used to being in the background and not taking charge and letting others make decisions for her that she believed she wasn't as capable as the other students that she went to school with. And she was constantly comparing herself to others. And in her mind, she always came up short. Now, she knew she was smart. She had one of the highest GPAs in her graduating class, but she didn't have the level of self-confidence that she would like. And she tried ignoring her feelings of self-doubt, but then someone would do or say something, and she'd fall right back into her pattern of comparing and despairing. And many times she looked around at all the other female accountants, the women, the mothers, all the other accountants, and she would just be asking herself, like, why is this? Like, if I'm so smart, why do I get stuck comparing myself to others? And maybe you can relate to that. So I share the story of Kendra in my book to see if you can relate. And if so, if you compare yourself to others, you are definitely not alone. The issue is that no one is talking about this subject. So what happens is it becomes like this dirty little secret, or we feel bad about comparing ourselves to other accountants. But the issue is that the issue that I see for most accountants when it comes to comparing themselves to others is that it affects so many areas of their lives, not just their accounting work. It can affect their relationships, their self-confidence. It can affect their ability to set and achieve goals, and really a lot of other areas. So if you're not familiar with the term compare and despair, basically it refers to our tendency to get upset or distress ourselves by comparing ourselves and our situation with someone else's. It's just this vicious cycle of making a comparison that puts us in a negative light, and then feeling horrible and less capable because of all the comparison. But before you beat yourself up for your tendency to compare yourself to others, I'm going to help you out. It's completely natural to do this. Your brain, our brains have been hardwired to compare us to others. And our brain starts putting this into action at a relatively young age. So in order to survive, right, here's what you need to know. In order to survive, the human brain has a tribe mentality, and it looks for ways to understand your relationship with the rest of the tribe and how you fit in. So your lower brain really equates rejection with death. Therefore, not being accepted or valuable is really quite threatening to that lower brain. And as you learned about topics like survival of the fittest in school, your brain's motivation for survival has been to measure you against others, to build connections that keep you safe, and to be on the lookout for any threats. You're not just looking for differences in people and in situations. You are also hardwired to see if those differences are better or worse. So our brains are wired to compare ourselves to others as a way of evaluating our own status and position in society. Now, this tendency is rooted in our evolutionary history, where being aware of how we measure up to others in our tribe or our group was crucial for our survival and for reproduction. However, in today's modern society, this tendency can lead to feelings of insecurity and anxiety and low self-esteem when we compare ourselves to others who we perceive as more successful, more attractive, or more accomplished. Now, this can then lead to a negative cycle of self-doubt and self-criticism, which again is known as comparing and despairing. Now, it's important to recognize that this tendency is a natural part of human psychology, but that we can also work to reframe our thinking and focus on our own individual progress and achievements rather than constantly comparing ourselves to others. So check back next week when I explain why accountants fall into this negative trap of comparing and despairing. If you are interested in dealing with this issue, you're definitely going to want to schedule a 30-minute call with me to discuss exactly what you're struggling with. I can help you see what is getting in the way, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Here's the thing. Managing your brain so that you can deal with the compare and despair issue is simple and doable, and I can show you how. So just go below to find the link to book a 30-minute call with me. You go below in the description of this video, and don't forget to check out the other free resources that I have. I'm like tripping over my words today. All right, until next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.